The government of Albania giving over control of their finance ministry to artificial intelligence.
We are at the mercy of the AI. Even if we never explicitly made the choice, it happens anyway.
Well, in terms of AI unemployment, I didn't think the politicians were going to go first.
Three dads running 3 YouTube channels, working to wake up the world to AI risk. Tackle 1 missed warning shot each week. If it's Sunday, it's warning shots.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Warning Shots, special edition on the road here. I'm not in the studio as usual, but I am, of course, joined by the incredible Liron Shapira of Doom Debates podcast on YouTube, Michael of the Lethal Intelligence channel on YouTube. And Michael, it's not you out at a Greek Isle today, but it is me on the road somewhere in a corporate lobby near Philadelphia. But the show goes on. We will not be stopped by any sorts of, time and place issues that we have. So this week we are talking about the government of Albania giving over control of their finance ministry to artificial intelligence because they're concerned about corruption.
Disa më kanë quajtur antikushtetuese nga që nuk jam njeri. Kjo më ka lënduar. Jo për vete, po për 972.000 ndërveprimet me qytetarët që u kam shërbyer në Albania dhe 36.000 dokumentat me vullur digjitale që kanë marrë nga unë. Më lejoni t'ju kujtoj, rreziku i vërtet për kushtetutat nuk kanë qenë kurrë makinat, por vendimet njerëzore të njerëzve me pushtet.
Michael, take it from the top and just sort of tell us what this thing is.
Just to give you a bit more context, Albania is in an effort to, it has accession talks into, getting into the European Union. Hoping to do this in 2027. And one of the main conditions is to tackle corruption. And there is hope that basically if we can automate the screening process for procurement and stuff like that, the more technology we use, the less human factor we use, the less, likely is that corruption can happen, And literally what happened is they assigned the role to a bot. They call her Della. I mean, it used to be a chatbot that it used to help people with, just requests like a chatbot, like customer support. It has talked to millions of Albanians, and now it's actually making decisions for real life decisions. And obviously, many critics will say this is theatrics, this is symbolism. The AI minister tries to, basically look cool or whatever. But at the same time, it sends a message like, ministers, AI could be coming for your jobs as well in the near future.
Yeah, so this is obviously there was something about the prime minister of Sweden or Finland or something a couple of months ago started consulting with an AI, and that was a big deal. And so this is something we're going to see more and more and more of, is AI reaching its tentacles into government, and government opening up the door and welcoming it in. Liron, what are your thoughts about the involvement of Della, the AI model, in the Albanian government's quest to reduce corruption?
Well, in terms of AI unemployment, I didn't think the politicians were going to go first. Right? It seems like humans in government, in roles of leadership, I thought those were going to be the last to go, and AI would just do everything else, and the humans would make the decisions. But now we're letting the AI make the decisions too. It's like, geez, we're really just going to stay at home.
And I mean, where does this stop or end? This seems like opening up the biggest Pandora's box you could ever imagine. Obviously, there's a lot of concern about military application. We've talked about that. But even in a more mundane, just sort of like governmental role where it's trying to reduce corruption, Michael, do you think it'll actually even work? Is there a world where it doesn't even reduce corruption because, these things we don't know that they're necessarily going to do the right thing?
I mean, so far they're so easy to manipulate and jailbreak, and also you can see situations where it's every single day there is a story about like the Mecha Hitler, where the AI was going crazy being a Hitler, and then other stuff like the AI claiming crazy hallucinations. So, I don't think it would work. But I think what's really telling for me is all these people make this, struggle to figure out how AI will take over. And it's like, shut up and take my money. That we're begging the AI to fucking take over, right? So it doesn't, the takeover doesn't have to be sci-fi at all. It's literally, it's called gradual disempowerment. It's a thing. It's actually well documented. I can talk more about it if you want, but if someone else wants to say something, then I can come back to it.
Sure.
Yeah,
Liron, talk about it.
I'll say something. So Albania, I don't think is very robust in the sense of government, right? I'm not a world government expert, but I do know that in the US, we do enjoy relatively low corruption in the government. It seems to be increasing, but it's still relatively low compared to many other countries. We have things relatively together in the US. There, a lot of high trust, a lot of things actually work here. If you have a country that's really struggling and they're just trying to catch up to where other countries are, the truth is, maybe not today, but let's say in 5 or 10 years, the truth is handing things over to a working, proven AI system, that might be a way to get a leg up and catch up to things. The only problem is that at some point, all of this nice, helpful leadership that the AI is giving you, at some point, you're like, well, wait a minute, I want to be the leader again, right? I want to take control back, and I want to figure out how to go back to the level of like a first world country or a country like the US or do even better. But at that point, it's just like, well, you've already given so much control to the AI, and the AI is doing a great job. And now it's not clear, like, how are the humans going to do a coup, especially if the AI keeps getting even smarter and smarter. So it is just like, it's an Icarus situation. It's like, oh, I'm flying closer and closer to the sun. This is great. And it legitimately is great, which just makes the problem so hard.
Yeah. I mean, is there a world? It's good that you bring that up, that it maybe for some country, it might work. It might be like a good, on a small scale, right? If you had like a single project that needed to get bidders and the country was horrible at bidding out public projects, and so they used the AI to improve their bidding process, and it actually worked and improved it. Or there's some conceivable ways where AI could actually assist government. I think the problem is, where does it start and stop, right? And sort of like what are the limits once you let it in the door? Why would you, and it's doing one thing better, why would you stop, Michael?
Yeah, exactly. And I think it's also, I don't think it's even a choice. So, I mean, just let's think a smaller scope, like a company. Let's say the CEO of Google suddenly became a doomer. And then the moment he becomes a doomer and starts saying, okay, I'm not going to use AI, he will be fired by the board and the shareholders, right? And if that doesn't happen, let's say if he stays there, I mean, the Microsoft CEO is not a doomer. His company keeps storming ahead with capabilities. Consumers prefer to use Microsoft instead of Google. So then Google eventually has no profits, and it's forced to fire everyone and go bankrupt. And then the CEO either stops being a doomer or simply never becomes employable again. So he moves on to study philosophy or something, okay? And the point is that the society at the end of the day is only left with companies that are actually AI powered. And there is no alternative that has survived. And so we are at the mercy of the AI. Even if we never explicitly made the choice, it happens anyway. That's a very easy and straightforward way to lose control of our fate voluntarily, even though in reality it's not really voluntarily, right? Because we are forced into it. There is no choice, we are uncompeted. The last thing I want to say is, having said all that, I don't think we should say, okay, so every CEO is just completely innocent, because you need to be willing to call out individual evil as well. So, I mean, you can blame Moloch. There is this terminology Moloch, we want to talk about it, but those guys will have a huge impact if they just made a genuine change of heart and publicly went out like, Jeffrey Hinton and denounce the madness they have been pushing. But of course, if they want to keep working, they don't have that choice.
Right. And this same rule would apply to countries as well, right? So if you have countries competing against each other on whatever basis, if some of them are using it and some of them are not, the ones that use it get ahead, I guess, and the ones that are not fall behind. Liron, is that the same thing? Companies and countries, it doesn't matter?
Yeah, totally. I mean, it's the same thing we talk about in war, right? It's like if you're not letting AI make your decisions about who to fire or, when to fire a missile or how to strategize like all your drones at once, if you're going to try to put a human pilot behind every pull of the trigger, you're just way behind in warfare. So it is like this treadmill. So we're talking about warning shots. So let's distinguish again, like kind of like the gimmickness of it to like the real threat here, right? So the gimmick is that even though Albania appointed this minister, they're saying that it's only symbolic because you still have to be a human to be a minister. So they're admitting that it's not like fully real. Okay, so let's try to be fair and balanced here. But the real warning shot is what we're talking about like, okay, but this treadmill is very tempting and it's even rational to get on the treadmill. It's very hard to know. It's like it's a slippery slope argument. And normally people talk about, a slippery slope, that's a logical fallacy. But in the case of AI, it really just is a slope where you just slip toward your doom. And it really is unclear what we're going to do to not slip toward our tube. So this is like a valid slippery slope situation.
Yeah, and if you look at like they say that like Yemen, right, it's like one of the most lawless places in the world, right? Like it's like one of the worst governments. If you took out the Yemeni government and put in AI today, you'd probably have a better government.
You have like Qatar in a few years.
Yeah, I mean, besides it making random mistakes, right? I mean, that's the only problem, is it's not fully robust yet. But I mean, it's very plausible that, hallucination rate is going to keep going down. I mean, GPT-5 is certainly a better minister than GPT-4 and GPT-3. So I can easily imagine in a couple of years we had GPT-7 and its hallucination rate is so low that it really is just a drop-in replacement for many jobs, including minister. And I personally might be like, yeah, a lot of you countries that have high corruption, you guys should clean out and start with AI ministers. Like that is like a nice move. And then we'll talk again when you guys kind of catch up to U.S. economic growth rate.
Yeah. Michael.
Yeah, and going back to this concept, whether it's actually a choice. And I mean, maybe we should talk a bit about the Moloch, the terminology everyone talks about. And it's like, it's a game theory monster that pits people against each other in a race to the bottom, where everybody ultimately loses. And the evil thing about this is that the monster, everyone sees it's a monster, but everyone understands, but they cannot get out of the race. I'm just going to give you a very quick example. Let's say you're in a football stadium and someone stands up so he can see better. And then, the guy behind also stands up, and then the guy behind, and then they start pushing, squeezing each other, trying to see better. After 5 minutes, everyone is standing up. No one is enjoying the match. No one can see better. And basically, before they were sitting comfortably, now they're fucking standing up, and it's horrible. So that's a very easy example to understand. Similar here. Everyone is racing to the bottom, obviously with, giving the keys to AI, passing the baton over to AI, and obviously the companies, the countries, at all levels, really. It's a great analogy. Moloch is actually a very terrible monster in... Is it related to Israel somehow in the history, very old or mythology or something? Or am I wrong there?
I don't know. I don't know the mythology there. Yeah, but I know Moloch. I think Scott Alexander might have been the one to really popularize it in the sense that you're describing, and Liv Burie's whole podcast is heavily influenced by Moloch as well. Yeah,
Liron, break Moloch down to just like the most simple thing, to a general public audience.
I agree with Michael's explanation, but I guess in a nutshell, to say it in like one sentence, it's when humans try to coordinate to avoid everybody losing, it's just really tough. Like the tragedy of the commons, right? It's like, well, we all want to let our sheep graze on this field, but it's like if my sheep can graze more, your sheep can graze less, and it's supposed to be everybody's field, but it just gets all trampled because we can't like cooperate and everybody do their part. There's just too many incentives.
Sure. Okay, back to AI's taking over government. Do you think we're going to start to see this start to spread into America? Could you have a small town that says we've elected an AI mayor, and maybe it's a PR thing, maybe it's half real, maybe it's not, but maybe they do, and maybe is better than the human mayor?
It's a quick button you can press to get out of the crisis. A random connection I'm making is I think this was Argentina, or there was just some country that's just like, screw it, we're going to the dollar, or probably not Argentina, but dollarization. There's some countries that are like, okay, we suck too much at managing our currency, we're going to the US dollar, even though that has some disadvantages. It's like this eject button you can pull.
Just another related news that came out literally, I think, yesterday, is that Google launched the Agents Payment Protocol, which is basically a novel framework to enable AI agents to make payments and exchange money. So we're very slowly, I mean, it doesn't make the headlines, but we are getting into this regime where AIs can actually buy things, hire people. For me, it's not far-fetched, once it has enough, agency in the world, enough actuators to change things in the world, spend money, do stuff like that. I mean, how far is it from it becoming a mayor if it's really clever? You know what I mean?
Right. But these systems are totally unsecure, right? And so they're gonna say with these agents, we should give it all our passwords and all our financial information and everything, and just let it go run wild and give this totally insecure thing all of our passwords. Is everybody going to do that? Is the world going to do that?
I mean, I think so. I don't think that's going to be that big of a hurdle because you can get there gradually. You can just give it more and more info until you're like, screw it. By the way, here I'll correct it. It wasn't Argentina. It looks like Ecuador, El Salvador, and Panama have gone full U.S. dollar. They abandoned their own currency. But yeah, I mean, it's the eject button where it's like, if you've screwed up your country and so many things need to be fixed, then it's like, it really makes sense to hit that eject button. And it's like amazing that the eject button exists. But yeah, like I said, slippery slope.
And so I guess there is a world where on a limited basis, using an AI in government could actually yield real life, real world benefits. However, the slope is so slippery. If it does one job well, two jobs well, why would you not give it 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then all of a sudden your whole government is AI?
So there was a study where they can analyze what percentage of the politicians' speeches is generated by things like ChatGPT and stuff. It comes out that in the last couple of years, it's like almost insane. I don't remember. I don't want to say something, but it could be like 80% of the stuff is written with ChatGPT. You might say, okay, but there's a human driving the wheel. Like, is it really? I mean, if you're asking for ChatGPT, say, you know what, tell me an idea about how we fix this, and the ChatGPT comes out with something. Okay, sounds good. I mean, how much of this is human? How much of it is ChatGPT already? And okay, obviously, when you make it an agent as well, it will be just on autopilot doing stuff. Okay, that's next level. Obviously, we're not there yet. It's not robust enough. But as Liron said, GPT-8 might be very robust, and it's not going to be like, it's going to be many years to do it. It will be immediately, of course, let's do it. Because, it's obviously so much better. And it's not even a choice. I mean, the other guy will do it.
Yeah.
There's another interesting aspect to this from the BBC coverage. So apparently they're talking about they're leapfrogging. They use that word. Let me find it in the article. Yeah. Prime Minister Edi Rama, who's introducing the new minister, Rama, saying, yeah, we're doing this because we're leapfrogging other countries like the US. So there's an analogy to like all those countries who got cell phones and they leapfrogged the US phone network, because now the old US phone network is kind of a pain to work with and integrate, like SMS is ridiculous. So they're leapfrogging the more advanced countries' government, which are still locked into, quote, traditional ways of working. So they're like, yep, this is already the future. AI is doing everything. Like, good luck, US. You're going to catch up to us.
I mean, Albania is a wild country. I don't know what you guys know about it. Do you know about the turrets in Albania? They had a dictator for like 70 years who was really worried about being attacked on all sides. And so there are concrete turrets, 30,000 of them built into all the hills of the country. You can't even farm because there's all these concrete bunkers basically because he thought he was just going to get attacked. So it's definitely an interesting place. All right. We are at time. Certainly interesting. We'll be talking more about AI.
Yeah, wait, what about the Mira Murati connection? She's Albanian, right?
I didn't even know that. My greatest memory I have of Albania is I had my 21st birthday in Florence, Italy, when I was studying abroad, and there was a bartender that was Albanian. His name was Eddie, and the Super Bowl was on, and my Dallas Cowboys were playing in 1995, and the game started at midnight, and Eddie the Albanian led us behind the bar to pour our own drinks all night. The game started at midnight, and that is the greatest thing I can say about Albania.
By the way, Albania
Nice.
is a neighbor. Is a neighbor of Greece on the north, and we had thousands and thousands of immigrants from Albania. And obviously, in the past, they were a bit more poor and stuff. So it was we got this. But now I think we will be migrating to Albania. So if it's AI powered, it's gonna be.
Yeah, wild. I'm sure we will see more of this. All right, gentlemen, we are at time. I am in a corporate lobby right here, so I am not going to do any firearms references, but you guys are welcome to end the show in traditional style. Please take it away.
All right.
Excellent. All right, great to see you guys. See you next week.
See you guys.